What's going on, my broskiis? My name is Toadski, back again, here to bring you guys yet another One Piece Treasure Cruise video, and today we're here to talk about one of the new SugoFest exclusives that I was able to pull from one of the Legend tickets during Grand Party season, and that character is the brand new Memories of Straw Hat Sanji, which, let's be real, it's a character that not a lot of people really care about. It's a very forgettable SugoFest exclusive, I suppose. But one thing about this character that kind of stands out is I believe this is a new meta-defining unit for PSY-TEAMs moving forward. This unit, from what I've experienced thus far, has been phenomenal and has made PSY-TEAMs extremely favored in the INT matchup. Recently, INT have received a lot of good support, which have made them actually surprisingly very good against PSY-TEAMs. However, PSY have kind of been lacking a little bit, and this Sanji changes everything. So let's go ahead and talk about what his abilities are, and then we'll go into a bunch of different clips showcasing how good this character is on those teams. So Sanji, being a PSY fighter free spirit, is absolutely perfect. Great synergy with the already withstanding PSY team. His rumble ability is fantastic, providing your PSY teammates level 5 attack, level 5 speed, level 5 health. That's perfectly fine, but the addition of also reducing INT enemies defense down by level 5 is just crazy good. Not only does this make Sanji hit even harder with his special, but it makes your other PSY units be even more potent in terms of damage towards those INT characters. This is a fantastic crewmate ability, or rumble ability should I say, and is honestly the reason why I think he is as good as what he is. He is an attacker style unit with a very good offensively focused special. 30 CT is respectable for what it is, it's stock standard, and he will first of all give your PSY teammates level 5 attack for 30 seconds, and then he targets 2 enemies with low defense for 3 times damage 2 separate times. That's honestly pretty good, decent damage. Furthermore though, he targets 3 INT typed enemies with high attack, ignoring defense for 1.5 times damage. Now that is phenomenal. He's already doing great damage with his special, and then you add on this effect on top of it where he targets INT enemies with high attack. The fact that he targets high attack characters is even better because you're getting rid of the massive threats on the opponent side of the field. So Sanji has great synergy with the withstanding PSY units, and he is a perfect character to slide into this team to help combat those really annoying INT teams, and you guys are going to be seeing a bunch of them in today's video here. In terms of his resistances, he also resists half stats. Because why not, right? Because why not? As well as damage reduction versus the INT characters. So Sanji is going to be really fun to play around with. Of course, this is the team that you'll see in this video. This team worked amazingly, honestly. It's not perfect, but it worked really well. So without further ado, let's jump into the video. Jumping into the first couple of clips that you'll be seeing in this video today is going to be covering the challenge difficulty missions. So the first one is going to be up against the most recent INT rare recruit to drop, which was this Egghead Chopper. But as for the other characters on the team, I mean, you got Yamato, you got Gecko Moria, we've got Pudding, there's S-Hawk as well, and that bench is pretty scary too. So having a look at this one, the only thing that I'm kind of scared about is potentially Moria halving stats of some of our other units, but remember, Sanji does resist half stats. So that is a big thing. Pudding also, as we see here, with reduction of the special CT of the opponents, could definitely be a problem, launching their specials faster. We've got Sanji coming up here, already doing some pretty solid damage here. Getting, obviously a knockout is great, and all the other characters at really low HP, but look at the damage that some of our other units are actually doing right now. Like, Rebecca and Toy Soldier doing upwards of 6,000 damage with their special, albeit, the character is completely maxed out. S-Hawk doing really good damage. Luckily, with some of that investment, we can actually tank some of those hits there. And let's see the Shanks special here with all the buffs. Look at that, over 10,000 damage across the board, and then we've got Odin to go ahead and sweep as well. Dude, INT teams just can't cope with that. They just can't. I mean, it would have been interesting to see if, Apu was on the front line here. That would have been interesting to see how that would have gone against us here, but man, oh man, we demolished this first team. Jumping into our secondary match is going to be against the Urouge challenge fight. Again, like relatively scary looking frontline on my opponent's side. You know, they've got the big boys with Dory, Broggy. They've got Urouge, which can do some really nasty stuff towards side characters. And they've got Perona on the front line, which can be a little bit annoying too. You do still see Yamato, but the thing is we've gone against this challenge before, right? And this challenge can be a little bit difficult. So, you know, this is going to be a little bit of an interesting matchup to see how this one kind of goes. And honestly, I'm not honestly that threatened at all, especially because we have Wano Law, which can severely debuff the special CT of Driven and Powerhouse characters, and it just kind of works out in our favor, which is awesome. And basically the entire team that we're going up against is Driven or Powerhouse. Let's see how much damage Shanks does this time. That's still really good damage considering, you know, only Rebecca and Toy Soldier had launched their special beforehand, already got rid of the entire front line, all the bench is on already in the first, 30 seconds of the game. That's absurd. That is so strong. Having the ability of Sanji to just give a passive defense reduction to those INT characters, making it so much easier to just melt through this team. We demolished it once again, like, just no contest. Moving on to something a little bit different, which is the master difficulty of the Brook fight, because the one after this, the Brook was not on like a full INT team, but this one was like a full INT slasher team, so I just wanted to see how this was going to kind of go. And I mean, let's be real here, it's not really that threatening of a team if you just look at that front line. Like, the opponent doesn't have like that many hard hitters. Obviously, Brook and Cat Viper are actually really good Rumble Rare recruits. As for the rest though, like Zoro and Law, probably not that much. INT Doflamingo is still a very solid option, but he doesn't do that much damage. The opponent's bench being Ohm, Dory, and Broggy. So yeah, this is really like not a fair fight for the opponent here, because we just we have such a high advantage against them here without too many issues. And albeit like my opponent isn't running like a full Driven Powerhouse team, so Law isn't going to be debuffing everybody, but have a look at that. Odin doing like 20k to the opponent. Like, they just can't cope with that. They just can't withstand that kind of damage. And especially because our special CT is going to be so high compared to my opponent here, there's just no contest once again. So Cat Viper, yes, doing a little bit of damage. The special bind did halt our progress a little bit, but let's see my boy Sanji come in with a bit of damage. 2 hits of like upwards of 10k and then a bit of damage through defense, and that just sets up our victory nice and clean. Let's go ahead and move on to the challenge difficulty of Shiki. Now this one is probably not like an optimal INT team that you would come up against in normal content, but remember the challenge difficulty, they have enhanced statistics and stuff and more Sugofest exclusives than normal, so I was genuinely curious to see how it would kind of go in this fight. The fact that my opponent has Queen and Alba on their side is a bit of a weird one though, because Alba and Queen, as well as the INT Jack, INT Kaido, all like kind of just bad in Rumble. They're just not really good Rumble characters. As for the rest of them though, they're pretty solid, right? So, you know, they've got a couple good hitters. Like Shiki can definitely do some serious damage, especially because we've got a couple slashes on our team. Already starting things off with Sanji doing pretty nice damage across the board there. We're going to go ahead and move on into Rebecca Toy Soldier. Would have been nice if Rebecca Toy Soldier was able to launch first and then we got Sanji to go. That's not that big of a deal as we have Shanks coming on here. Let's see how much damage he can do this time. Look at that, like 13k damage. And that's the thing, my Shanks is only level 99. Like, he has 0 dupes in him at all. If you had your own Shanks with even more investments, then it would be even crazier. And you got Odin doing like 14k damage with his special, and then we just end it super quick there. Alright, so let's actually jump into some normal matches against actual opponents' teams, right? So this is a very interesting one. So it's going to be with the INT Gear 5 Luffy. I really wanted to test some teams against INT Gear 5 Luffy. You see Pudding, you see Bonnie, and then they also have Moria on the bench. I don't know if that's really the best call, but that's what my opponent decided to do, and yeah, things actually go relatively well. It is a little bit of a scary team for sure, because if that Luffy is able to proc that special, forcing out 2 of our free spirit characters can leave the rest of the team quite vulnerable, but luckily for us, that actually doesn't really end up happening. You do see Pudding launching her special very, very quickly. Shanks is able to secure his special quick as well, and this is the first special that we launch in the game, so we don't have a lot of debuffs or buffs really applied when that Shanks launched the special there. We see Sanji coming in with some pretty decent damage, and again, if you had more investment in Sanji and Shanks, like, we probably would have knocked out someone there, but you see Rebecca Toy Soldier also doing more damage, not knocking out anyone, which does kind of suck. A little bit of special bind there on Law, which halted our progress there, but Odin comes in, and everyone's already launched their special, and Odin just sweeps the board, knocking out just about everything on my opponent's field. And then the final clip of the video is going to be up against an INT Cerebral team. We see the Vegapunks making their appearance. Now, I don't think this is a really well-built team. It doesn't have a bench or anything like that, which is probably not the way that you would go about things. You definitely want some INT characters, some INT Cerebrals on the bench to fully fulfill all the effects of all of your team. But still, I saw this and I really wanted to go up against it because it is a full INT team, despite the fact that it's not running, you know, Driven or Powerhouse characters. So Wano Law isn't like debuffing a bunch of the opponents, but Law still provides a bunch of benefits to us anyway, and still just want to see how the team kind of performs against it. And no real surprise, we're going to get the job done. You know, it is what it is. But that's it, guys. That's my breakdown of showing you guys what Sanji is capable of. I do think moving forward, if you're building a Psy team, a Psy Free Spirit team that is in Pirate Rumble, Sanji is going to be a staple in these teams. That is really, you know, if you're thinking about using him against an INT squad, he is so good against INT in Pirate Rumble. So that is going to wrap it up from me. Thank you so much for watching the video. If you did enjoy it, make sure to go ahead and leave a like. And if you want to stay up to date with all the content I post, including more One Piece Treasure Cruise content, make sure to hit the subscribe button down below. And that, guys, I'll see you guys within the next video.